It's always a party at Patchworks. Let's get this party started. Woot woot. Hi everyone, this is Julie from Patchworks, and I'm so excited that you're joining us for another Must Sew TV here tonight at Patchworks. We have some really great things planned for you today. We're going to look at the new Aurifil Color Builders box. We're also going to take a peek at some of the really amazing fabrics that have been coming in, and some themes that we have planned from some fun little fabrics that we've curated for you. So why don't we just get started? We have Tammy here in the store with us tonight. She is on my right. You can't see her, but she can forward any questions that you have, and she'll also be typing along and sharing links with you. Frank is behind the cameras, making sure you can see everything just fine. So let us know if you need to see something more up close, or if you have any questions, or if you need us to find something in the store, or if you just have random things you want to share with us. So let's take a look overhead and take a peek at our floral inspiration for today. So for our new viewers, our Aurifil Color Builders is a capsule of thread every single month. So this particular month, it's the Golden Shrimp Plant. And this year we're focusing on 50 weight variegated threads. So we have color 2145, which is a solid, variegated 4150. And so this is a gold that goes down to really light, maybe even into a soft pale yellow. And then, oh my goodness, we have 3817, which is a vibrant multicolor variegated, which is one of my very, very favorite variegateds that we have here. So the Golden Shrimp Plant is from Peru. And this particular flower, let me show you a picture of it. Can you see that? Isn't that pretty? It is natively, it grows in the tropical area in Peru, and it is native to the lowland areas of Central and South America. It's an evergreen shrub, popular as a landscape plant in tropical areas. And you know, some of the other plants that we've looked at and talked about have been endangered and they're not very prevalent anywhere. And so in the Midwest, it can actually be grown as a flowering house plant or outside during the summer months in containers. So I don't know, I think I'm going to have to hop down to Milligers and see if they have any. Maybe I should have been inspired and gone and done my research earlier so that I could have brought one for us so that we could have them here for our session. And in warm climates, these can grow 4 to 6 feet tall. It will bloom all year if it's in the tropics. Huh, pretty. So this was the pretty picture that Aurifil had shared with this particular one. And then of course we have to have a glamour shot of the gorgeous, gorgeous thread because, you know, these are models. So what do you think? Is that fun? So we have here okay, so on our little screen here, we see us as frozen. Can anyone who's watching let us know if you see us? And Frank, can you just put the screen up to me? So is anybody seeing me today? We can just see. Okay, so I'm going to talk as if you can see me. Oh, hi, Sally. Hi. Okay, so you guys can see me. We just can't see ourselves. So I just will stop looking at the screen, okay? Pay no attention to the screen. Fabulous. Actually, that's much better. So, and thank you everyone for letting me know that you're hanging out with us on this glorious Thursday night. So for our fabrics, I don't know if you've been paying attention at all, but with one of our other clubs, we have been pulling fabrics every month to kind of go along and complement our thread boxes. And so this month's Moda Stash Builder is this really fun gold into orange pack. And so Frank, if you want to show us overhead. So we have here some really pretty fabrics, and you can see we have some grunge and thatched and more grunge, the grunge with dots and stars, some spark with just a titch of that metallic in there. Really pretty print. This is from the, I want to call it the Brady Bunch fabric, but that's not what it is. And then we have some more grunge, dots, really fun jungle paradise, some spotted, and then this beautiful print from Ruby Star. So really pretty. You can see that this particular thread falls right in the middle here. The variegated comes out right about here, and this glorious variegated. Yolanda, it makes me think about you because I know how much you love the multicolor variegateds. This just goes the whole distance here and also covers some green and blue. Okay, so every month I get to show you a pattern that comes along with the thread box. If you are not subscribed and think that this thread box looks super fun, I'd be more than happy to hook you up with that, either for just this month or for a box every year, or sorry, every month for the year. Or I could just send you one box a year, you know, however you prefer. I could even send you a box a day. All right, I'm just getting silly here. So we give you the paper version, and then we also send you a digital version of this particular pattern. And a Patchworks exclusive is that I pair some fabrics to go along with it. And so to make this particular one, I just want to show you here that this gorgeous pattern is the finished version of the block. You can see that it is an applique on a Essex background, and we have the Essex background sitting on our cutting table right underneath the cameras for you. And then in the sample that Aurifil shows you, I believe they're using solids, but we chose to use our batiks this year. And so this is our white, our light gray, and we're giving you just enough, actually a little bit more than what you need to make the block happen. The dark green for the stem, the medium green for the gorgeous leaves. And with the batik, you can just have so much fun, and it's a little bit more lively to be able to design your leaves. And then we have a light, a medium, and a dark gold. I am super excited because this month our placement sheet is to scale, and are you ready for it? Are you sitting down? You don't have to tape it. Oh, I'm so excited. So guess what? We got a new printer. Yay, I'm so excited. And we are able to print tabloid size copies. Isn't that exciting? Okay, I might be just a little bit too geeked out on my technology things here. But I'm really happy and really excited. So this is the full size layout sheet here. Isn't that great? No more tape. So excited. And you can see here, there are a lot of pieces. Like, there's a lot of pieces here. And a lot of little pieces. So what in the email that's going to be sent out, there's going to be some tips from Kate Brennan, who is the Aurifil instructor that is in charge of this particular program, and she builds the flower up. Okay, she builds it up as she's making it so that it just layers really nice. And in this particular case, you are going to have a lot of overlap. So this is one of those situations where if you're doing a fusible, you absolutely would want to take advantage of building on your applique pressing sheet, okay? And then what you can do is you can take off, maybe not this whole unit, but you would take off one whole blossom at a time as you're transferring it to your background fabric. Does that make sense? Okay. So we have here the before and after stitching as shown by Aurifil here. And so you can see that you can have just a little bit or a lot of stitching. And I love here how they took the opportunity to vein these leaves. So if we look at our placement sheet here, you can see how they can be veined, okay? Inside of your packet, you are going to be given the materials and supplies, and on the Aurifil site and also in our links, you'll be able to see all of these different techniques for how you can play with some applique finishes, okay? If you're printing from your home computer, you want to make sure that the templates are printed at 100% or actual size, and you want to make sure that when you print it out, the inch square reference measures 1 inch. Okay. Color placement guide, not to scale, gorgeous instructions, and then the shapes. So you have them not reversed. So if you were going to be doing a hand turn, you would use the non-reversed. And if you are doing your fusible web adhesive, which we've been doing all along, you would use the reversed. And if you have an inkjet printer, you absolutely can push this through your printer so that you can just print right on those steam-a-seam sheets and have less tracing to do. So there's a lot, but you really only have the 3 pages here, okay? I think for the walking palm, we had a little bit more tracing. So, you know, actually, there are a lot of pieces, but they are not as intricate, and you just have your layering. If you haven't attempted any of these before, you will see that the letter next to the number indicates what fabric that you're going to be using. So this particular one is all one fabric. This is a fabric, this is a fabric, okay? So let us know if you have any questions along the way. I know some of you have been playing along and others of you have just been collecting the beautiful threads. Has anyone who's watching tonight been playing along with making any of the shapes? And bonus question, is anyone doing anything other than the fusible web adhesive technique? All right. Any questions so far, Tammy? None. None. Okay. The other thing that I just wanted to share, since I have it right here before we move on, is that this is the Essex Yarn dyed in black. We have it in a few neutral colors, and it is a very interesting yarn dye that can work well for applique and can be pieced into quilts very, very easily. So we had started using this substrate, ooh, fancy word for a type of fabric, substrate, when we were working with some Elizabeth Hartman pieced fabric patterns. So for those of you who remember quilts like Fancy Forest, this particular type of fabric was the type of fabric that was the background. Now this Essex yarn dye also works fabulously well for garments, and that actually was the first purpose of this fabric for Robert Kaufman. However, it translates very, very well into quilting. And as this linen blend, it doesn't shrink too much, so it's a really nice washable linen, especially if you are into garment making, that you aren't going to have to worry about it shrinking up too much. All right.
A couple people have said that they've made a feel for why somebody's still looking at the endangered species and somebody else is looking at hot things.
Okay, so Tammy's been filling me in on all of the comments that you are making, and someone is using hotfix, others are, so everyone who's participating is saying that they're doing the fusible, and someone's working on last year's endangered animals. So thank you so much for sharing. Talking about sharing, are all of you members of our Patchworks Party Facebook group? That is a group where we like to share pictures of show and tell, since we can inspire each other from afar, and it's really great to be able to see all the different things pop up that you have to share, and it just makes me smile to see the creativity that goes on and everything that's being made. And I love, love, love to see finished projects, because you know, we get to help all of you select all of the things, but we don't always get to see the finished product. So having a nice close-knit group where we can share those is really great. So you can see behind me, I have the Hip to Piece Squares beautiful quilt hanging again. So I know I shared it with you a few weeks ago, and this is Kim Schaefer's pattern that appears in the latest American Patchwork and Quilting, which we finally have magazine copies for. Yay, it's so exciting. So we have a bunch of copies of the magazine. If you need to have one, they're $6.99 a piece. Let Tammy know, or you can grab it on our site or stop in. And then we also have kits. And I want to share with you our kit that we put together. So we are the official magazine kitter of the pattern. So when you would get one, we can either pick it up in store or we can ship it out in this really cool little box. And I have one that we're going to take apart and look at. What do you think? All right. So let's look overhead, Frank. So we have the Hip to Piece Squares. It's a 58 by 78 inch quilt top. And the fabrics are inspired by the original quilt. It was made from Kim's stash, so there are some out of print fabrics there, but they are all inspired by her, and she approved our final selection. You will need your pattern as well as 5 yards of backing. So we've done all of the heavy lifting for you, and we have provided black and white strips. So there's more white with black fabric or black print than black with white, based on the fabric requirements. And you can tell that they're all graphic prints. So we've left super flowery ones out. I can see here that this particular Kim little flower is in there, but that's not super flowery. And it is great because it could be a very masculine pull here with that. So just really great graphic. And then we have the blues that vary from the super dark to the really light. And then greens. And you have the blue greens, the olivey greens, a little bit brighter neon greens and yellow greens, all sorts of different things. And so, Frank, let's just quick look behind us again. So you can see that really there's all sorts of greens, there's all sorts of blues, and it really sparkles when you put all those different fabrics together. And one of the things that I always like to share with people when they're struggling to pick fabrics is that the more fabrics that you have, the merrier. And so if you're only picking 2 fabrics, it might be hard to see how maybe 2 greens would go together if there's an olive and then there's a blue or green. But when there's lots of friends, then not only do they work together, but you get that interesting texture where the fabric selection itself creates this gorgeous picture that you might be able to achieve from a single print. Okay, does that make sense? But it's just, I love it. And so in my perfect world, you're using 8 billion different fabrics in all of your quilts. And I believe in our fabric pull that we did here, we have 20 unique blues, 20 unique greens. I'm not sure that we were actually able to achieve all, we might have some duplicates in our black and whites, but definitely have a ton of variety, and there's a little bit more fabric than what you need. So if there was a fabric that you absolutely hated, you could toss it aside, save it for a different project, and you'd have ample fabric. And likewise, if there was a favorite piece that you have from your stash, by all means incorporate it. Or you just wanted to enjoy the beautiful strips that we have created for you, you of course could do that and make something entirely different. To complete the kit, Frank, let's look overhead. We have solid black that is used for the binding. And then I have included a picture for you in case if you have misplaced the pattern from your fabrics. This kit is $139.99. We have a limited selection available, and we keep making them. So there might be times when the fabric's slightly different again, but we're doing a very conscious job of making sure that you have that great variety, a lot of unique fabrics to mimic what Kim had put together. Any questions on that? All right. So no questions, Tammy says. So who wants to see? I feel like I'm going super quick tonight. That's all right. I have some fabric that I'm going to show you, and if anybody has questions along the way, please make sure to ask, okay? So we have fabric that we've been kind of waiting for a long, long time, and it's kind of crazy, but I know there's a bunch of you that love gnomes. And so this gnome fabric is a little over the top, but for those of you that love gnomes, I know you're going to be super excited, and we put it online today. So without any further ado, let me share with you, Gnome of the Brave. So we have this tight little collection from Henry Glass, and it has this crazy fun border stripe. All right, you can see that. So you can make a project, or you can make a really crazy 60-degree table run. 60-degree table runner, where you cut your strips out and then angle it and make it go around. Then we put together this fat quarter tower that has 8 different prints in it. So you have these fun fireworks, this panel here, which has these fun squares that you can either cut out or just use this as pieces. And as Natalie, who's one of our gnome aficionados, says, these are the fun gnomes because there are no eyeballs. So that's the trick. So I only have been buying gnomes without eyeballs now, ever since she shared that trick with me, okay? All right. And then have a fun little eagle there. Oh, this stripe, look at that. This is a great, great binding. And then we have this really cool plaid. Well, you have the gnome riding on the firework, and then the fun flag here. Of course, Henry Glass has a 24-inch repeat panel. So help me out here, because Frank's not a big fan of the 24-inch panel, and I told him you guys are going to love this one. So help me out here and let's prove Frank wrong. And so let's look at this one, Frank. Okay, so look at this 24-inch repeat here. Pretty cool. And you could also have it be, if you wanted it a little smaller, I'm just going to lower it here. So couldn't you see a super cute little pillow? Let's measure what it would be, because I could see this just as a fun little couch pillow if you didn't want a giant banner. Okay, so this, yeah, you could do like a 14-inch. What's our rectangular pillow size, Frank, that we have? I'm putting Frank to the test here, sending him on a mission. So we just got a whole restock of all of our Hobbs Polydown pillows, and those are so soft, and they're really a great price. So we have the squares from 14 to 20. And, so we have a 12 by 16. So maybe it's a little, yeah, maybe not quite. So you probably, yeah, we want it to be a little bigger. But you probably could do like a 18-inch square here. 20-inch square. Yeah, big pillow. Fun. So that is fabric, and we have Gnome of the Brave available online and in store. So pick up your yardage, your panels, and your fat quarter stacks today. If you had wanted a selection, always let us know. We're more than happy to cut for you if you had an order ahead of time. I know sometimes you're on a time crunch and you don't necessarily have time to shop in the store, but if you see something, let us know and we can cut it up for you. So we have a totally random question that I'm a little terrified because I don't know what it is. Okay, Tammy.
Deb said, a friend wants to make cushions for her patio furniture. Do you ever make outdoor cushions using quilting fabric instead of outdoor fabric?
Okay, so the question is, do you ever use quilting cotton fabric for outdoor cushions? So the short answer is, why, yes, of course you can use any fabric to create anything. My word of caution is the fabrics that are used for manufactured patio furniture are sun treated and water, a little bit water repellent on there. So even if you took, I don't know, do they even make it anymore, that 3M product that like protects your stuff? Okay, so Tammy's nodding yes that there is that. And do you know what it's called? Okay. So the stuff you get at the hardware store from 3M that you can spray on fabric, but you still have thin fabric. So what I would recommend is that something like this might not be the best to be the complete cushion set. So maybe get some navy seat cushions and then make some really great throw pillows. So because you can absolutely use throw pillows or even the back sides, or if you just had the little, if you wanted to make seasonal little, not sit-upons, but you know what, like just little itty bitty things that aren't those really heavy duty ones, but I would be hesitant to use them for heavy duty outdoor wear. I'm not sure that they would last all summer outside in the sun. Does that make sense, Deb? And if anyone else has any experience in the matter, by all means, I welcome you to share your experience with that if you have had great success. I have used regular quilting cotton for other home deck items that wouldn't traditionally be used. So using it for a cushion, just once again, it's not heavy duty. So it will be an occasional use item for you. All right. Any other questions until I show you some other fun stuff? Okay, no other questions. So now I was looking at my calendar and we have a lot of fun things. Take a sip of water. I think this happened last year, that I had like a crazy, what do you call it? Cotton?
Maybe it's all of the minky we were cutting.
All of the minky. So we were cutting minky into little strips today. And so there's just minky dust, cuddle love that's flying everywhere. Everywhere. We produce a lot of lint here, in case if you didn't know. All right, so next week we have, well, of course we have our program, which is Free Spirit Club. And we've gotten in a whole bunch of really amazing Free Spirit fabric, which is really exciting. I'm first going to show that to you next week. But next Thursday is Cinco de Mayo. So we were really excited today about putting together a fun little curated collection of themed fabric that you just might have to put together to have your party setting, you know, because why not just have party? And I think maybe Tammy and I are going to be drinking margaritas next Thursday night. Not sure. She's cheering over there. I don't know. Frank's kind of shaking his head, a little terrified, so maybe not. But let me show you the fabrics that we pulled together, and we even made a little collection online called the Cinco de Mayo collection. And I think, Tammy, are you sharing it? Tammy's sharing that link for you. And there's a few other fabrics that I don't have available for you that for looking at right now that are in that collection. So let's take a peek. So we have some really hot, and Frank, just make sure, point to me if I'm not in the right place because I can't quite see what I'm showing, okay? All right, so we have some chilies here, and this is actually from a really great Northcott collection here that is for a whole bunch of barbecue stuff, but those chilies just were awesome. And then we have a couple different versions of the super sweet avocado. I mean, like, come on. Who doesn't need this avocado fabric? I mean, it's smiling. And then cilantro, because, you know, cilantro. I'm growing some cilantro this year. I'm really excited. I started them from seed. Pretty exciting. Can't wait for it to go outside. This might be my favorite print here, and everyone in the store is completely in love with it. It's the mini taco, and you could do a whole bunch of different things with it. If you like the avocados, you might just like the smiling onions, which is available in a couple different colors. We have the smoking hot sauce, because, you know, we all need hot sauce fabric, don't we? And then Karen thought that it wouldn't be complete if we didn't have our corn, our masa here, you know, because you might like your corn tortillas instead. So, or street corn. Ooh, now I'm hungry. Can pair it up with some cerveza. We have some good beer fabric that could go with that. I don't know, but super cute. I know we have one of our dear customers that makes a whole bunch of dog collars and dog bandanas. She just loves this, and this might be our second or third bolt of this fabric because it's just so amazing. So if you needed to whip something up for your Cinco de Mayo festivities while you're watching Must Sew TV with us, you can whip it up, and if you can't head in here, we'd be more than happy to send it out to you. Okay, so on other themes, we do have, I mean, aren't we excited about our bucks? And you know, we talk a lot about the packers and we talk a lot about our brewers, but we don't often talk about our bucks. And so I wanted to let you know that we do have some really great bucks as well as basketball fabric in stock. And so if you wanted to get ready for the next round of the playoffs, and then, you know, we can be cheering them. So what round is it? I probably should know about this sports ball stuff. Okay, so round 2. Frank, how many more sets are there? Okay, so he's laughing. He can't even answer me with a straight face. So he's cracking up over there, and so go Bucks. Okay, so let's look. So I am a sports fan. I just don't always know the rules, you know? So, and what's crazy, so one of my friends, Laura, she always calls it sports ball, like no matter what sport it is. And the whole thing about it is she is now like this giant Bucks fan, and she knows all the rules and all the things. And so she's going to be ashamed if she sees this, but I don't think she watches us, so never mind. So look at this fabric. It's super awesome. We do have this great Bucks fabric print here. And great logo print. And then we have just great tossed basketballs, basketballs with nets, guys dribbling around, little basketballs, and other basketballs with nets. So we have all of this fabric up at the front of the store, and we have a section online that Tammy's sharing with you called Basketball. Did you find it?
No.
Oh, she didn't find it. Okay. So there's a section called, under collections, it's called Basketball. And then she'll share it with you. So I forgot to give her the memo. I do that sometimes, you know? I just go rogue. And then just things that are coming, because, you know, things are still not, I know I keep telling you that, you know, it's always like Christmas. I never know what's coming when, right? I never know what's coming when. So I know we are expecting, oh, I see you, that we have flower pot here. This is an upcoming fabric line. So if you were wondering if we were getting it, yes, we are. So we have the pre-cuts. I'm not sure when the yardage is going to be coming, but we are getting it. So this is a gorgeous Layla boutique. And you can see these gorgeous, very on-trend now colors. Beautiful. Okay. So in stock, we have the Jelly Roll Charm Pack Layer Cake. Let us know if you need some. And the Ghastly fabric is not quite here yet, but that supposedly is shipping out this week. Cross your fingers. I haven't gotten my my pack slip yet. So we have all of that on order and will be coming soon. If you had wanted to, you still could pre-order some. We have our available quantities on our website. And then next week we will get into talking about that latest and greatest Tula Pink fabric that you might have been hearing about, but we'll talk about that for our during our Free Spirit Club next week. I think Tammy's just showing me a couple more things that she wants me to share with you that just came in. So we have a couple books that came in. This particular one here, we're going to look overhead. This is the Rollin' Along Moda Bake Shop, the latest from Martingale, compiled by Lisa Alexander. These compilation books are always really pretty, and I love when they go with a theme. So you have some really nice jelly roll books here. You can use it with scrap, or you can use it with jelly rolls that you pick up. $25.99. A different compilation book, which is a little bit older, but we just got it back in stock, and Karen wanted me to share it with you. Did Someone Say Cake? And so it's a dozen layer cake squares. So those are those 10-inch squares. Remember, most of the patterns that you can make from layer cakes, you can also make from fat quarters or other stash that you have. And then also new this month is Pat Sloan's Tantalizing Table Toppers, a dozen eye-catching quilts to perk up your home. And Pat always does a really fabulous job here with nice, clear, concise instructions. And there's some placemats in here and table toppers. I know we are so excited for another Table Runner book that should be coming around soon. So Table-tastic 3, we are still waiting on, and yes, we absolutely will be getting that book, but it's just not here yet. So I've talked super quick tonight and have been showing you all sorts of fun stuff. Before we go tonight, does anyone have any questions for me? Okay. So thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Next week we are going to be sharing the Free Spirit Club, which we have a lot of things planned for you. We have a bunch of new Kaffe and Tim Holtz fabric in stock. Super, super exciting. Later in May, we'll be getting in the Tiny Beasts and Tiny Coordinates. I don't think it's going to be here quite in time for our club next week because they haven't started shipping it yet. But just know that that's going to be coming, and we'll be working with that a lot during the summer. I'd like to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to spend time with us. It's always great to see your smiling faces in store, as well as to see your great comments that you have online. Until next time, happy quilting, and we'll see you soon.